Rust Books Originals presents Whispers in the Pines.
Chapter 1. The House with No Sound.
It took 6 hours, 2 wrong turns, and 1 panic attack to make it back to Gray Pines. The highway narrowed the farther I drove north, until it stopped pretending to be a road at all, just cracked asphalt with moss bleeding through its seams. I hadn't been here since I was 10, and even then, I hated it. The trees leaned too close, the wind never blew right, and the silence wasn't silence, it was waiting. Now, it greeted me like an old friend. Engine softly shuts off.
I pulled over when I saw the town sign, wooden, crooked, half-sunken dirt. Gray Pines, Est, 1871. Someone had spray painted over the last 2 letters. Only Gray P remained. I stared too long. Didn't know why it felt so wrong. The road ahead? Barely a suggestion. I followed it anyway. I hadn't come for memories. I came because I had nowhere else to go. When the social worker handed me the deed to my grandmother's house, I almost laughed. She'd been dead 3 years. No one told me she'd left it to me, and I wouldn't have cared if they had. But desperation makes strange things seem survivable. Even this. The trees turned feral as the road dropped. No streetlights, no signs, just forest. Then, the house. It appeared like a hallucination, slow, looming, half buried behind vines and a leaning fence. A 3-story Victorian with peeling black paint and windows like bruises. The porch sagged. The front door had a long vertical crack, like the house had been split once and never healed. Suddenly, the world was too quiet. Stupid. I adjusted my coat, pulled my sleeves over my wrists, made myself walk. The house stared back. It didn't feel empty. Tense, cautious. I turned the key in the door. It fought me, like it had rusted from the inside. When it finally gave, the wood groaned so loud I flinched. Dust and mildew hit me first, then something else, something deeper, like old books left in locked rooms, or bones buried too shallow. Inside, it smelled like memory. Everything was still here. The dusty armchair by the fireplace, the oil lamp on the side table, the cracked mirror over the mantel, the one that always made me uneasy as a kid. Uneasy. The grandfather clock still ticked, loud, like it had never stopped. No family portraits now, just faded wallpaper with frame-shaped shadows, like something had once been there, then removed. I dropped my bag by the stairs and wandered to the back hallway. The kitchen was smaller than I remembered, too clean. That was wrong. Everything else was filthy, but the counters? Wiped. The sink? Empty. The air? Sterile. I opened the fridge. Empty. The freezer? Humming. Frosted. One chair at the table had been moved, slightly, just enough that I knew it wasn't me. I told myself I was imagining it. I've told myself worse. That night, I didn't sleep in a bedroom. I dragged an old quilt onto the downstairs sofa, curled beneath it, too cold to undress, left the lamp on. The walls creaked all night, like something was moving through them. Once, I heard a soft thud upstairs, like a door closing. There was no wind. I counted to 100, then 2. At 313, I fell asleep. I dreamed of footsteps on pine needles, of eyes watching me through a cracked window I couldn't find, and a voice, one I didn't recognize, saying my name like a secret. Ava. I woke to silence and a fogged window. Outside, something moved between the trees. I didn't move. Branches shifted. A crow called out once, sharp, sharp. Then, nothing. I stood slowly, heart in my throat, watched the woods. No animals, no footsteps, no sound. But something was out there. I felt it. Not fear, not quite. Pressure, weight, like someone was waiting for me to come outside. I didn't. I boiled water, drank tea I didn't remember packing, wrapped myself in layers, and cleaned the hallway just to stay busy. I found old books in the study. Most had blank pages or names scratched out. And then, under the stairs, a photograph, black and white. My grandmother, younger, standing in front of this very house, smiling, but not at the camera. She was looking left, towards someone else, a man, judging by the coat sleeve and the heavy silver ring on his hand. No date on the back, just a single line, shaky and fading. He never left. I dropped the photo, and for a long time, I didn't pick it up. That night, the power went out. The storm hit after midnight. Sharp, cold, loud. Rain battered the windows like it wanted in. The candles barely held. I sat in the living room, blanket to my chest, eyes unblinking. I thought about the photo, the man, the way the upstairs creaked even when I hadn't been up there all day. I fell asleep just before dawn. Candle burned low, the storm distant. When I woke, the blanket had slipped to the floor, and the photograph was gone.